Let's see, did I call him Renard by accident? I hope not. For some reason, R names, you know, mess up my thinking, like Renard, Richard, Rupert. I should probably have less R name characters. Rupert came under heavy fire from some distant position manned by Jade troops. They're mostly wielding. They had a few who were checked on their numbers. Rupert managed to throw himself for the cover of a rocky pillar. A pillar of rock, which was chipped up vigorously by gunfire. Starbucks. Help me, please. My creature, my totem, isn't giving me much energy today. I don't know why. It had such supernatural power earlier, and now it's like, it's really faded. I don't know why. Silver metal? Maybe if it was made of metal, it would have been like a lightning rod for energy. I don't know. Seriously, by gunfire. The Jade were mostly holding the standard E1B rifle. Jade produced about let's see, how many of them? About 20 million of them. 30 million of them for their war. And they were welded by everyone. Or welded even by militia. Jade. On the Jade content. And none of the men enemy at this facility were militia. They were all definitely soldiers. The group shooting at Rupert numbered 30. No, not 30. Numbered 5. From his cover, and we're about 10 meter off. Even in the light, with the brightness, even with the flash of their gunfire, fire in the dark, they were still quite hard to see. They seemed to have shadows for faces. Rupert fired off a whole mag, then ducked back, reloading. He was joined by a few commandos with E1Bs. Bs of their own. Maybe I should call them BB rifles for short. BB, like not BB as in BB gun, like BB as in 2 Bs. Most of the Far North men had E1Bs. They marched into the cave. But each man was allowed. But some men had AKs or even SG-39s. Men were allowed to pick their poison in Far North unit. And then a few Zedin troops, young Zedin troops who finally felt enough shame to join the fight. The Zedins, armed with M1, squeezed off shots that echoed thunderously through the cave interior. They managed to wound one of the Jade in the distance, who was thrown in the open from his rocky cover. He managed to crawl back to said cover alive, despite maybe 1,000, maybe a few hundred rounds coming his way. Several grenades were pitched next by both sides of the fight. Let's see, where is that guy? Cover rocks. Yeah. Just rocky cover, I guess. They explode about the middle. No man's land in the middle. Men were shooting vigorously. Way before the smoke even cleared. A rifle grenade was fired next by one of the Zedans. And it landed close enough. It landed on the flank of the rocky cover of that Jade squad. Let's see, do they have shields on them? Like Gorgets, I guess. Gorgets are those things military police wear around their necks. You might see them in old movies from World War II, but it's kind of rare. Usually the movies didn't go into that much detail, like, they just had regular German soldiers, usually, even behind the lines, not like military policemen like you would probably see in real life if you were like one of those commandos, you know? But yeah, I kind of like it when they go nice and detailed, you know? Attention to detail. Oh dear. That air-drying clay hardened on my skin. That's not good. Let's see. Landed on the rocky flank of the rocky cover of that Jade squad. The explosion killed 2 of them. The explosion that followed killed 2 of the Jade, who fell limply into the open and disappeared into the darkness. No men went after them, as far as Rupert could tell. He figured they must have been bloody messes. They got half their faces blasted off down to the muscle. Ugh. There were 3 left, including the wounded man. Earlier, he threw that fellow with his arm, right arm now covered in, mostly covered in a bloody bandage. Squeezed off shots with his rifle. Hip. He was soon after wounded and knocked. Was he hit with the wound arm? Soon after wounded and knocked off his feet to the floor. Soon after wounded and knocked off his feet to the ground. The cave floor. With a groan, he managed to sit up. He pawed around the dirt where his dropped rifle. Pawed around in the darkness where his dropped rifle. Rupert looked away for a moment at the other two others still uninjured in cover, and looked back and saw the wounded man was now dead. He was slumped back against a rock. 2 fresh rifle wounds. Wounds in his chest. Two minutes of shooting. Fruitless shooting back and forth. I get to say these guys had M16s. I hope not. I better check. Back and forth. One of the Thomas yelled out. Fire another rifle grenade. One of the commandos yelled at a Zetan rifleman. Yes, sir, Zan replied, even though he was talking to a sergeant and not an officer. Zetan readied a rifle grenade after much fumbling in the dark, then fired it off at the rock cover. Miraculously, it bounced about till it landed right behind the last two men. They both ran out from cover into the open and were shot dead in the time it took the grenade to go off. One tumbled backwards and laid sprawled on a big rock. The other dropped forward, almost like he managed to throw himself to the ground. He let out a pained moan and rolled on his back before expiring. Two commandos and two Zetans took point and made sure the Jade were dead. Outstanding work, privates. The Kromish sergeant replied, cheered. Now you actually have some stories to tell your kids someday. You'll have to lie and say you didn't fight in the war itself, but afterwards. Yeah. One private agreed. Doesn't really feel like the war is over in the slightest. Rupert could agree. He stayed in cover, moving cautiously toward the entrance of the cave, towards the rear of the cave, and the ongoing fight between Dami and his transformed brother, Richard. Dami kept flinging energy blasts at Richard, and the occasional blast hit him with a shocking lack with no apparent injury or even burns on his skin, scaly flesh. It was like there was some shield about Richard, protected him from the energy. Didn't make sense, too. Richard Spendle threw himself, crawled low at times, quite invisible in the dark, even with those gleaming yellow eyes. He flung his tail in the dark, and Dami flew up in the sky to avoid it. Barely. He flung the tail again with a vicious swing across the area. Dami was not struck again. This time, she sat down. She landed atop some rocky hill for a moment, as though to get her bearings. She had to take flight again quickly, for two blasts, before Richard flung that tail at her again, this time smashing through the rocky hill, and dismembering it itself. Tommy flung up through the air, and then Richard threw himself at her. He managed to seize her in his human-like clawed hands, digging those claws, no doubt digging those claws deep into Dami's flesh. Now he didn't scream reply and willed a terrible green aura to appear about her. It seemed like this aura was like fire, like a coat of fire, and it burned Richard enough that he quickly released her and fled from her. He flung 2 energy blasts after him in the dark, and let's see, is his eyes yellow or gold? And the creature howled again, and then made that strange aura dissipate. Rupert kept moving, stumbling in the dark. He ended up tripping over something rocky, stony, but it wasn't a corpse or his brother's tail. Rich sprawled on his belly, which hurt, banging it, and his knees hard. Hurt a lot more than Rupert expected. The strange thing sometimes with his knees. Sometimes he banged his knee on a door, but it didn't hurt him. But there was a little pain, and banged his knee on a door, and there was a little pain. Other times the blow hurt so bad, thought something cracked in the leg. This time was the ladder. This time in the cave was the ladder. Rupert writhed a bit like a snake himself on the ground. He heard a lot of shooting and banging in the background around him. He climbed to his feet and was shocked to see his brother standing before him. It wasn't really standing. It was standing when it was a tail. Great tail instead of some legs. But Richard appeared to be standing erect on it. Arms at his side. His features confused instead of angry. Particularly his eyes. Angry and animalistic. He was studying Richard, and Richard was unsure why. Richard was all beast at the moment. Richard was all beast at the moment. He should have just growled, seized, and killed Rupert. The sight of Rupert, it triggered some memory, lost memory within that transformed mind. Richard put down his rifle tossed his rifle to the floor of the cave. It shattered loudly, like some grate. Loudly. He put his hands up. I got confused again. Richard Rupert. It's me, Richard. It's me, Rupert. Richard. It said. God damn it, why did my finger suddenly hurt? The fingertip suddenly hurt it. I don't know why. Ugh. It's me, Richard. Rupert said. I'm your brother, Rupert. All that energy drink's done. Let's see, it's me, your brother, Rupert. The creature blinked. Opened its mouth. Slightly. As though it was going to say something. Was it capable of speech? Richard supposed it had to be. Had to be. If his friend Ireland could speak with his reptilian-looking mouth. If the animal men could speak any human tongue, then why not Richard's? Then why not this creature? Phantom could speak in her monstrous form. Probably, since and many monstrous creatures like her could speak human tongues with their own mouths. It wasn't just a matter of telepathy. Richard, can you understand me? Rupert asked. Can you speak? The creature just kept staring. And then abruptly, it was blasted from behind. Like dummy. It was not knocked off its feet. And the face went from confusion to great animalistic anger. In an instant, spun around and lunged vigorously at Dami, who had come close, who had charged up to it after throwing an energy blast. Dami coated her gloved hands in fiery energy, like the aura from earlier. And delivered a series of vicious punches to the creature, knocking it about, smashing it through rock pillars and stalagmites about the floor. By then, Rupert had gotten back from the fight. Frey. So he didn't get caught up and trampled. Now he blasted the creature twice in the chest and knocked it down for a moment. It was soon back up, slashing with its claws. Abruptly, it lunged and tried to bite her with its great fangs. Now I managed to dodge the blow and punch, give one of her own. A vicious uppercut. It took the monster. It sent the monster flying back over the air, crashing vigorously about the floor of the cave. Richard Creature had never faced an opponent like this. Stupid allergies. It had been waiting for a long time for a real fight like this. It had thought itself a god, but it was not much of one next to this. It slithered. Would have to be more careful in the future. Brute strength. Richard had been tasked with defending the facility from all intruders. So it vowed to slay this being and its comrades and leave their bones away to bones on the cave floor. It would find that strange doppelganger. It'd slay it as well. The crime of confusing it, making strange memories come to the surface of its addled mind. Now was not the time for memories of any stripe, of any kind. Now was the time to focus utterly on battle. Okay, folks, signing off here. Have a nice day.